My name is Sam Geldard and I'm an integrative therapist. I work for various UK organisations and I also work within my private practice seeing therapy clients. I talk about various subjects around mental health, including suicide prevention and postvention, men's mental health, the mental health of young males, and trauma and attachment. I also talk about aspects of neurodivergence, including my own lived experience, and I also talk about aspects of grief and bereavement.
It's wonderful having you part of the Speakers Collective. I guess one of the questions we've been asking is where an example of stigma or discrimination that you may have seen or experienced yourself that made you want to talk and speak up.
So I think one of the areas that I talk about is grief and bereavement, and this is in various aspects of grief and bereavement. So being a therapist, I work with lots of clients at various stages of bereavement as well. And I've worked with people with all types of losses. So including, losses of relationships, losses of employment, loss of finances, but also loss of a physical person. So death. And I've also worked a lot with people who have been bereaved by suicide or aspects of bereavement that might have some social stigma around them or shame around them. So aspects of maybe drug addiction or alcohol addiction, where people might really struggle to talk about those bereavements in a kind of wider societies. So one of the things that I talk about is disenfranchised grief and how we quite often as a society will dismiss the level of grief for an individual based on the relationship to the deceased as well. So I quite often hear clients say things like, oh, but that person was only this to me. It was only a friend. And there's a dismissal around their experience of their grief as well. So I talk a lot about the importance of the meaning of that relationship, not so much the title of that relationship or the status of that relationship or what that relationship was, but the meaning of that relationship to the person and then the meaning of that person's death as well, or the loss associated.
Really, really interesting. And, it's difficult subjects that people find to talk about those kind of feelings and emotions. And with the Speakers Collective, I guess what we have created is a community that is bringing different people together. I'm interested to know what part community plays in the work that you do and how important community is to you and being part of the Speakers Collective.
I think it's really important as a therapist, all of my clients are working within some sort of system, they're operating within some sort of system, be that a work environment, a family system, a community system. We are all part of those systems. And so I think one thing that the lockdown and the pandemic we kind of taught us was that we are humans. As humans, we need human connection. And so that importance of community, that importance of being able to reach out and have support within our communities and a sharing of knowledge as well within our communities is really, really important. So I think for me, that's what Speakers Collective brings, because we have such a wide variety of speakers, of experience, of expertise, of subject matter. So there's so much for us to learn from each other as well. And also it's nice to feel part of something with a variation of people. Within my work of mental health, I do tend to do most of my trainings or events around mental health areas that I work in. So it's nice to have some contact with others who maybe work in different fields and who work in areas of maybe, social injustice and other social areas that maybe I don't come into contact with as much, but my clients do. So it also gives me some insight for my therapeutic work.
Yeah, it is an incredible group of people that are part of the Speakers Collective, including yourself, Sam. And so thank you for all the work that you're doing to support and help others. Some areas obviously really close to a lot of people's hearts as well. So thank you for all the work you're doing and for being part of the Speakers Collective.
Thanks, John.